Okay, so please let me know if you could hear me now. If anyone's here and they can hear me. This is INFJ Rachel. My tri-type is 748, and I am here to answer your questions, or just to chat, really. I don't really, first of all, I don't really ever do this by myself, but I figured, why not? Okay, great. Thanks, Legends Fall. Live chat this. Sweet. Sup? Glad you guys are here. Yeah, it took a little bit for me to actually get it going, but I'm here. Oh my god, I really am. I checked all of Eric's connections with his sound system, his microphone, the sound disc thing. It was totally, yeah. I did replace B with G because I am using the small microphones on the webcam. That's how G I am. But I am here. I am not queer. And no, we don't want any more beggars. Eric is currently sleeping. I don't think he's been sleeping. He's been sleeping a lot, but I don't think he's been sleeping incredibly well. So it's nice that he can take a nap. Well, probably because this is the third live stream of the day. Sky Gear, the Galleon, ESFP. Eric did one this morning, and then I had to do it twice. Yeah, because I'm using the microphones from the webcam. So yeah, it took me 2 times to actually figure out how to get the sound at all on live stream, because it's all set up. I just don't even know if it's on. Usually there's a green light that'll show you when when the sound card is working, but I'm Te PoLR. I have no idea. It's I'm like a total infant when it comes to yeah, it's just I don't even know. I don't know what to do with the sound card. Thank you. Thank you. I'm here to answer questions, just to chat, even, see how you guys are doing. I'm doing well. I'm eating some Fritos and I have a Coca-Cola. Smokes a little. Entertaining myself while Eric is napping. What are you guys up to? You guys watching football at all? I ask because I'm curious. So broccoli type, what do you think ordinary soda is? Do you think that you mean with I see broccoli Todd. So you're saying non-diet soda is, yeah, sugary ones are underrated. Yeah, they are. I don't know, they got a really bad rep when I was growing up in the 90s. I remember they would say oh, there's so much sugar in sodas, yada yada yada. I mean, there is, but then there's also much chemicals in the diet kind, so but I think actually, Sky Gear, I actually think that Eric is so close to like filling in a lot of gaps when it comes to Eric's theory. He's working on something right now, actually. It'll be up when it's finished. But it's pretty exciting stuff. It explains a lot. I think he's the most right, honestly. I mean, he was able to get my type right. And I have been typed wrong for like 8 years. So, hey, RR, I used to play Pogs. Do you want to trade? Okay, the mirroring, he had, did you see the 1-4, he's going to explain it more in a chart that he has with the actual types and the cognitive slots that'll show how each of them are like flipped. See, the thing is, cognitive functions are so theoretical and require a lot of NI, and it's kind of hard to NI down something that is a theory. So what Eric is speaking about is very advanced, and it's not easy to follow for everyone, you know? Like, he's going to make it easier to understand in this new document he has. Legends Ball, it's like, yeah, it is compatibility theory. He's working on that. It's really interesting. So he's talking about really how, like, in this chart that he has, it talks more about different types of interrelationships. All I can say is that I think he's the most right about cognitive functions, and that he's very close to finding out real good, hard, like, compatibility theories. Because I also believe that he's right when he says that judgers should be with judgers and perceivers should be with perceivers. More specifically, that ESFJ and INTP are better for each other than if it was ESFJ, ISTP, something like that. If you're just using sensor, intuitive. Yeah, and so I agree with that. I actually wonder if me thinking that NE generates NI objects actually makes sense. Yeah, I would say you're right. Like, when I was younger, I used to play with oh my God, I was really going to just say that. I used to play by myself quite often. And in my own NE way, I would like cut out people from magazines and like make paper dolls and like play with them. And that's very like NE. Look, I am NE ignoring. So as I've gotten older, that like kind of like mix up, like this right now is helping me not ignore my NE. But yeah, like, I think it does actually generate objects. And so it's actually interesting that you say that also, because his NE is working on these, graphs and charts about compatibility, and he's using more of his NI, which he's normally ignoring. So I'm not surprised that he needs a nap right now, like, at all. He's close to the end of his bottle of Adderall too, and that tends to happen. Like, it's like kind of like a slow burn thing. Thanks, Alex Rodriguez. I am doing well. I couldn't say your name for the life of me. Wow, that was really bad. Alex Rodriguez, hi. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. I am good. It's very useful, in my opinion, if we get it right, but it's probably the most complex area of typology, says Legend Fall. I believe you, and I think the same thing. It is the most complex area of typology. A lot of people start, they don't even include cognitive functions when they're, talking about compatibility. So, like, how can you even, like, make a system based on something that is, not based on any sort of science? Thank you, Men Like Gods. Yeah, I felt like streaming. Hi, Lauren Cuthbert. Let me just scroll up. I wanted to see. Leaf trimmer. Yeah. Well, my idea is that NI receives knowledge through universal metaphysical identities, and NE just ascribes certain meaning to words, symbols, then it's just an equality of representing an identity. I mean, that's definitely one way of thinking about it, because NE is definitely words and symbols for sure. Like, right now, since I'm NE ignoring, I get tongue-tied. Like, I have done a lot of work in, like, theater and stuff, and like, during practices and stuff, people, like, will, like, be quick, want me to do something, like, really quick, and if I'm on the spot, I'm like, blah, 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 like, so tongue-tied. Because it takes me practice to get, like, comfortable with my NE, with my own ideas, with, like, playing with, like, characters and stuff, like, like, that's Eric's area of comfort. So, and it's something that I do ignore. So that's a reason why I'm here. But NI is a lot of metaphysical, but it's not totally, like, I mean, it is the most metaphysical, in my opinion, Sky Gear. Okay. Yes, live syncratic. I am doing my own live streaming. Thanks. Men Like Gods asks, Rachel, have you ever gotten a reading from Simona Rich? If not, you should. I know you enjoy being read. Men Like Gods, what do you mean by being read? Like, astrology? Because, yeah. NI is really, really abstract, but it hits the arrow on the head sometimes, and a lot of people like don't like to hear it. So here's an example. Hey, Giovanni, I'll answer your question next. So my sister moved from Brooklyn, New York to Belgrade, Serbia yesterday. And my Aunt Sherry, whom I love with all my heart, asked me how I feel about it. And I was honest with her. I said, I am pretty nervous for her because I knew that she was like, she didn't get rid of all her furniture. She still has a lease on her place in Brooklyn, and she had to move earlier than expected because Serbia is getting like COVID laws stuff happening where they didn't in the past. So my answer was boom, like honest, like no like fluff. I said I was nervous. So that's how NI is also. It's like when I come up with a truthful, especially truthful answer, it's going to be very blunt, and it's going to be exactly the answer that you asked. So, yeah, INFJs, especially if they're more mature, because INFJs, when they're younger, can lie, but get uncomfortable with lying because they're selfish about it, Yeah, but let me answer Giovanni's question. Hi, Rachel. Which function would you say you have a love-hate relationship with? My sixth slot. God, it should be TE, but it's my sixth slot FI. That is a love-hate thing. So I love it because I feel like I can be very objective towards feelings. People can come to me saying that they're nervous, and I can be objective about it. But I'm also very selfish with it too. Like, so since it's demonstrative, I like to give Eric kisses, and I like to tell him, how much I love him and how handsome he is, and that's my demonstrative FI. So I like that part of myself, but I also don't like it too because it can be a lot for some people. But yeah, so sixth slot FI is so difficult. I mean, I feel like I have the emotions of a 13-year-old. Like, I feel like when I developed my height and prime and where I stayed is at 13-year-old, yeah. So my feelings are very hard for me to identify. So while I may be very good at demonstrating my love, I really don't know how I'm feeling and the things that I want all the time. I really have to kind of like sit with myself and understand it. But again, if you ask an INFJ like point blank a question, they're gonna usually point blank answer it, unless it's a TE kind of thing. Life Syncrotic says, that's how I am to some degree. I don't know how to beat around the bush or hint. I can't either. I don't know what it is. I don't like to beat around the bush anymore. I did it for a long time. I used to beat around the bush all the time. I used to lie all the time. When Delilah comes over and she says that, she has to keep something from someone, she has to lie, I understand where she's coming from, because I used to do the same thing. I used to like tell my parents like, oh, I'm gonna go hang out with Jenny when I would be like on a date with someone else. Like, and I didn't like, as I grew up, I didn't like how that felt. I was like, you know what, this is not right. Like, I need to be proud of who I am. And that's when my TI really was like, all right, we're gonna screw this in and you're gonna be honest from now on because it's better to live that way. Lauren Cutler says, that's true. I found that I've often mistyped my INF friends as INTJ because of how honest they are. It can be irritating when I know what I want to hear, but they tell me the blunt truth. It is difficult. Lauren, I have lost a friendship because of the blunt truth. My friend Samantha, this is my story. This is my story of my friend Samantha. So me and Samantha, we were friends in high school and we had ancestral backgrounds of the same. We were both Welsh. And she'd be like, hi, my Welsh friend. And I'd be like, hi, my Welsh friend. We were very cordial. And we were pretty close. We would go out a lot together. And she was good friends with my best friend. So socially, we were very compatible. But she had terrible taste in men, and she let men walk all over her. And one night we got together and she just wanted to vent about how this guy that she was seeing took another female to the fireman's ball when she was supposed to go, or she was expecting to go. And I said to her, I was like, he doesn't like you. I'm like, I'm sorry, but can't you tell? He's not being nice to you. And the friendship after that was gone. We couldn't, she felt I overstepped my boundaries. And in a way I did, she didn't ask me. But I was kind of fed up of hearing about it. I think the kitty's outside. Hi, Pee-Pee. Oh, thank you, P. Such a good kitty friend. We have a very important kitty friend. Ooh. What's going on, leaf trimmer? Oh, good. I'm glad it was just a friend. She's an either an ISFJ or an ESFJ. She's definitely SFJ, Lauren. I'm not sure. I was never sure. But she always compared herself to Charlotte from Sex and the City. That's her favorite character. I don't know if that helps at all. Life's Necrotic said, I would respect you for telling me that. I have had a bad problem being doormat in the past, and it would have paid off to be mindful of the slights that people make like that guy did. Yeah. So, but it's funny. My life has gone completely circle, full 360, I guess that is. I was born and raised in New York, and I lived there until I was, I think, so I can't do math in my head. I left home to go to North Carolina to live with a boyfriend in 2010. So I was 25. Yeah, I was 25. And I lived in North Carolina for 8 months. It didn't work out between me and the guy that I moved down there for. I started a new relationship. That fell apart too. I had a manic episode, and then I moved back home with my parents in New York. And that time that I moved to New York, so New York started in 2011 to 2019 when I came to California, was a totally different life than I'm living now. And it was I lived with an ESTJ mom, ENFP dad, My sister was moved out of the house, and my brother, 2 years after I moved into the house also. I did have a very TESEFE family. So, okay. So, my mom, ESTJ. My dad, ENFP. My sister, Eric just typed her as an ISFJ. And my brother, I'm pretty sure, is an ENFJ. So, my brother and I, and actually my sister and I got along like pretty well. It's the joke though that someone on TWFP actually said that ISFJs are the more adjusted to life TE polar of the two, of INFJ, ISFJ. It's so true. Like, my sister does have TE problems. Like, she moved to Serbia, but she still has a lease on our place in Brooklyn, and she like has a lot of paperwork, is not good with it. So yeah, there was a lot of FE2, like, or maybe it was FI, honestly. There was FE with my aunt. That was like really tough. But coming here, it's like meeting an ENTP. So I had an ENTP best friend in New York. We were friends we met in 2015, and we fell apart around 2018. So 15, 16, 17, 18, like 4 years, we were like best friends. But she developed feelings for me, and I was like not liking the way that she was treating me at the time. So I was like, I'm sorry, but I love myself more than I love you. Sure, Pee-Pee. I got a door for you. Thank you, Pee-Pee. What is it that I find about challenging about FE? Actually, I enjoy FE. I don't necessarily find it. So what do I find challenging about it? The part that I find challenging about it is keeping up with it. Like social events, I do like going out, and I do like talking with people, putting on a dress and being formal and saying hello and giving hugs and being like at family gatherings and chit-chatting. I love that, and I'm good at that. Like at interviews, like I always knew I got the job because I'm able to FE really well. It's my tool function. But it's my tool function. So that's how I like fix how I lack in TE a little bit. And I'm able to FE really well to a point. So say I went to a wedding and I was in the bridal party, and we went away and there were 3 days of activities going on. The FE that's involved in a wedding that takes over more than 1 day to be at would exhaust me. So I find it difficult to maintain FE for too long. It's nothing really wrong. There's nothing I don't have any feelings towards it, but it is a tool function, so I can't maintain it, even though people know I'm good at it and they recognize it. I can only maintain it for so long. Do you recognize something as a TE problem and then avoid them, Giovanni? You know what? No. I don't even know what a TE problem is until I start doing it. So before I was typed as an INFJ, what I would do was, so for me, TE is like following the steps of something. So say I were to sign up for insurance, health insurance. Instead of me doing it, I would hand it off to my mom to do. And then she would give me all the information that I would follow up on. But the actual like steps of going through the process and the paperwork, I would just hand off to people. Putting stuff together like a bed, I would just be like, oh, so and so can take care of that. And that's because it's not even on my mind. I don't know that it even exists until until I'm criticized for it. And that hurts. Oh my gosh, being TE criticized. Like one time I was trying to help Eric with his back, and he had like a big knot, and he told me to hit his back with the back of my heel. So pound his back with my foot. I was so like demented about it. Like it really I couldn't do it. It really I'm replying to yeah, I could talk about it real Effie. But I don't even realize that it's a TE problem. So he told me, he was like, you're doing it so weird. Like, do you know what you're doing? And I started crying because that's a TE like criticism right there. INFJs do not take criticism well, and I really do believe that's because we lack TE. TE doesn't care about the criticism. You give them the criticism all day. It's going to brush off their shoulders and they're going to do the work. But INFJs don't even know that shit exists. So it's like we're like floating around in the world, like trying to figure out like what's best to do for ourselves in life. It's really difficult. So actual FE. So and then okay. So I was talking to my ESFJ aunt yesterday, and actual FE is, oh, how are you? How's the weather? Oh, yes, so-and-so is doing great, blah, 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 blah. And then at Christmas, we did that. And then, oh, we really missed you here. Oh, and did you know that so-and-so is sick? Yeah, it was pretty bad. And it like, is a conversation. It's pleasantries. FE is like pleasantries, and ENFJs, it'll be like, oh, no problem, buddy. Like, you're good. ENFJ guys like can be touchy without really meaning to be, because they want to relate to the person they're talking to. FE and ENFJs is kind of like, I do hear you. I do understand you. You're heard. You can do this. That's how FE really appears in the ENFJs. Joe Biden, I think, is ESFJ. Thank you, Bendy Anya. Thank you. Actually, I was hoping that Winston's mom was going to come on this. I messed up the past 2 live streams because I couldn't get the microphones to work. So she probably doesn't even know that this is going on right now, but I did my makeup for her because she so kindly, no wonder she was asking me what makeup I like, because today I opened up this Naked Reloaded pack. It's beautiful, from Urban Decay. Now, I actually owned one of the Urban Decay Naked palettes. I used the second palette. So this is my, yeah, I'm like super stoked. I left it in New York because I was like, when I moved from New York here, I was like, I'm not going to bring that much stuff with me. I'm just going to pick what I really need. And yeah, it is the bomb. I feel so grateful. It is the Rachel Lapalosa show, Karma's Pimp. I'm here to answer your 748 INFJ questions, because I'm a 748 and I'm really good with Enneagram. I studied it a lot. So if you have like questions about my type or like some of the others, Enneagram, INFJ stuff, I'm here. This one is called Urban Decay's Naked Reloaded. Has, let's see. It's really pretty shades. So I used some of it, and I was going to thank her, but I'll thank her later. Is Naked like bare minerals? No. Life's Necrotic. This is Urban Decay. They called it Naked because it was like a palette with like nude colors that anyone could wear. So they have a lot of palettes. Urban Decay. My Enneagram is 748. What I go is, I love to play, I love magic time, and then I'm like, I'm a fucking individualist, so if you're gonna try and say that I should do something, you're wrong. And then 8 is like, fuck that, I'm gonna sit here and be who I am no matter what you say. That's the line that it goes down. So society really loves a 748, let me tell you. Wings, see, I don't know. Thank you, H. I hope you're having a pleasant day too. Hi, Winston's mom. Oh, yay! I'm glad you're here. I used your palette that you sent me. It was such a nice surprise. So, Lauren, I don't. Okay, I'm your 487, so you kind of know the deal. Like, you're like, fuck you, I'm an individualist. Yeah, you want to tell me? Yeah. And then you're like, I'm going to go play and forget about all of this. Wings, I don't really know. Eric doesn't believe in them, but I think they're essential to finding out your tri-type. So I believe I'm 7 wings 6 SX. Justine Humanity asks, how does NI work with Enneagram 7 in your experience? So I appear to be much more extroverted than I actually am. So I do I do love to go to social events. I'm also very into like magical thinking, as in like, if you want to have like a positive life, you can, but like I used to use magical thinking a lot as a kid to get through stuff that was happening at home. I like to play, and I like to do what I want to do all the time. So if I don't want to pay a bill, like I have bills to pay, right? I could be paying bills, but no, like I want to play, I want to talk to you guys, and I'd rather have fun doing this than anything else. Whereby? Hold on, let me get it. So, Lauren, the three, when Eric's here, he'll be able to tell your Enneagram type, actually. He'll ask you a series of questions and he'll probably narrow it down for you. But I found that you go through the wings. So I'm 7 wing 6 first, but then I'm 4 wing 5 next. So that creates the 4. And then I'm 8 wing 1, I think. Right? No. 8 wing 9. And I don't know. Yeah, 8 wing 9. And that makes me a 7, 4, 8. But Eric has a better system for it. What is Lisa Trimmer saying? What's going on? Yeah, definitely ask Eric. He'll be able to narrow it down for you, for sure. Like, he's gone back and forth with me with either 741 or 748, but over time he's seen my stubbornness, so he's like, yeah, you're definitely more of an 8 than a 1. A 1 is a perfectionist. Like, I have laundry to do right now, and if I were a 1, it would be already done. And it would be folded nicely in my perfect way, but no, it's not. I can get very like, fuck that fool. This is 4. 4 is like very like, fuck that, but I'll be like, who the fuck are you to tell me who I am? You don't know me. Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? Like, that's like, well, that's also 4, but 8 is very much like, I'm right, you're wrong. I'm right, you're wrong. Don't you see how you're wrong? Yeah, 4 is very much like that. Hold on, let me. Yeah, that's a good one too, Winston's mom. Thank you. The Catherine Barberu. Oh, that's okay, Bendiania. I didn't see. I'm trying to keep up with the chat as much as I can. So Sean O'Neill says gut triad anger is 8 outward, 9 is type 9 is mixed, 1 is inward. Heart triad shames 2 outward, type 3 mixed, type 4 inward. Head triad fear, type 5 inward, type 6 mixed, type 7 outward. 7 is definitely afraid. They are a fear type for sure. Like, when I was younger, used to be so afraid of being entrapped in any sort of situation. And then I would let fear take over, and I would like miss opportunities because of fear. Or I'd be so afraid that I'd be like, la, 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 I don't hear what you're saying. It'll fix itself. But 8s can be scary. You know who's a good example of an 8 is Alec Baldwin. I believe he's an 8, and he likes to scare people a lot because he's mean. I'm good, Octavia Silva, but he's napping. So I decided to take over the stream for today for a little bit, so that if anyone had any INFJ 748 questions or just wanted to chat, that I am here. Christian Bale, an 8. I don't know. That's a good question. He's definitely introverted. I think he's an ISTP. And he does have a reputation for yelling at cast and crew, but I don't know if he does anymore. He is pretty damn scary, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I guess 8 would make the most sense. So what's growth for type 7? So type 7 growth is settling down, not always looking towards the future for happiness, being okay in the moment. Not like looking for the better opportunities, or not being afraid of good opportunities, you know, like sometimes things are as good as you think. It's only 4 there. Yeah, 3:45. It's nighttime. 4, 5, 6, 7. 7:45. What is Karma's pimp? What's Tom Cruise? I believe Tom Cruise is an ISTP. I do. He's the least ISTP in Risky Business. But other than that, I don't think he can really act. I think he's pretty much himself all the time. And he's more known for his action than he is his lines, if you know what I mean. Winston's mom says agreeableness. The big 5 would say he's low in agreeableness. Women tend to test higher in this behavior trait. Otherwise, we really would throw the baby out with the bathwater. Yeah, you know, it's interesting, Winston's mom. I test half and half on agreeableness on the big 5. And it's definitely true, but I learned who to be agreeable with and who I can kind of have a argument with. Like, I've learned not to argue with Eric's dad. Like, Eric's dad thinks that I am very agreeable. He always says, he's like, she's so agreeable. I am agreeable to a point. If there's something that I really believe in, there's probably going to be some friction. But I pick and choose my battles. Tom is a passionate guy, but I disagree with him about the recent thing. Oh, you mean him yelling at the casting crew? Leaf trimmer? Hi, Duels. 1969. What's going on? Yeah, but Sky Gear, Big 5 told me I'm scum too, so it told me I'm basically a blob, an open, pretty disagreeable, non-conscientious blob of a person. So three rub you the wrong way. What kind are you, KM? They rub me the wrong way too. 7s and 3s. Here's the way that 7s and 3s get along well. Public face-to-face things. 7s are always very, hey, how are you? Like, what's new? My life is like this. Oh, I went on this like adventure. Oh, you're 487SX. So yeah. So 3s are all about success, and sometimes they will bend the rules to get that success. And that's what I don't like about them. But yeah. 369. Yeah, I think. So 6s are the funny worriers. My dad, I believe, is a 6. He bites his nails during games. He's constantly biting his nails. But he's constantly like, hey, I'm the fun guy. He's also an ENFP. So he's an ENFP 6. He's like, hey, I'm the fun guy, you know? But don't mess with me. I don't trust you. You got to earn my trust. Like, I'm a good guy. I'm a good guy. I'm a lot of fun, but, you know, don't. And Eric's mom is a 6, and she always would be like, no. She would put her foot down when she was really worried about something. It'd be that fear, that worry. But they're also very funny. You could be a 6. Sixes are very loving too. They're known as the romantics, I believe. My dad is very romantic. He has a lot of feelings. Yeah, sixes are very funny. They're like, I think of Tom Hanks. I believe he's a six first. You probably are a six then, Leaf Trimmer, if you got six the highest. Threes are trying to one up everyone. I mean, so my brother is definitely, I think he's a 369. And he's an ENFJ, and he's planned goals for himself like since he was in high school. So like he really, like, it didn't matter what was going to be in his way, he was going to attain his goals. And he has, and he does it like so methodically. And he's not afraid to like his close friends are like everything to him, and he likes to network. I don't know, it's just, that's how he is. Oh, are you, Karma's Pim? You're a romantic? Wisdom's mom says, Never Sleeping Beauty does have some good content. I am linked the INFJ video a few days ago, but I can do this again if anyone's interested. Yeah, why not? I think I saw what you sent before. I clicked on it, and it is pretty good. It's mostly her explaining about her INFJ life, which is, see, I constantly mix up the E's and I's and S's and stuff because I'm TE polar. Like the ordinality of the cognitive functions like confuses me. So I'll say ENFJ when actually I mean INFJ. It's weird. We have such an ass backwards mind, INFJs. How do I know if I'm an INFJ, INFP, ISFP? You'll know you're an INFJ if you have a friend who asks you every day how you're doing, and on maybe the fourth day you're like, can you stop asking me this question? I'm good. You'll know you're an INFP if you are so happy to have someone ask how you're feeling, and you'll know exactly how you're feeling. You may even cry. An ISFP, well, you'll know if it's an ISFP if there's something a little bit romantic about them, that they'll take you somewhere and have play music but have very few words to say to you. Sarah Jasmine M. Hi, Rachel. What's your take on SX, SP, ENFP, particularly being SX dominant for an ENFP? So, ENFP, SX, you're going to want to have a partner who is going to be constantly there for you. And I don't mean constantly with you, because I actually feel that an ENFP is going to need a lot of freedom. You guys like to experiment and mix it up. So having someone in your life who is going to be like your buddy, but not always like with you, like someone who will be at home and like, you know, they're waiting for you and it's like no big deal. Like someone really like stable, because you're going to need that. I believe that as an SX too, relationships are going to be really important for you. So there might be a tendency to like go on many dates and like maybe like think like the first two people are it, like just because you want to be in a relationship. But an ENFP really should be looking for someone who grounds them, who will be there for them no matter what, and or who they're with or what they're doing, and who, you know, respects their feelings. So And as an SX type, that's going to be very important for you. You might like doing everything with your partner. That could be, you know, say you have a 9-to-5 job, you want to be with your partner all the time. That's pretty typical of SX. They see partnership as a natural, or partnership and being a duo as natural. So you're going to want to be with your partner. A Nova 5. I have trouble with analyzing with functions as well, which is funny, I think. It is funny. It's not funny when you're in school. It's not funny when you're in a corporate environment where people are like looking at you like you're like, what's wrong with you? But it's funny overall. You're welcome, Sarah, Jasmine M. You go find that person. I have faith in you. You got a 3.0? An over 5, you know, that's pretty good. You know what I got? A 2.3, okay? And that's when I was in university, and my first and second semester, I did terrible. And then my junior and senior year, my freshman and sophomore year, I did terrible. I got F's and C's and D's. And then in my junior and senior year, I fucking got all A's. And so to balance it out, I had a 2.3 or something like that. It was pretty fucking terrible. My GPA was not good. So that was in high school. Yeah, a lot of people do end up procrastinating in high school in college, because like high school doesn't prepare you for college at all. It doesn't. Really, I'm an INTP stuck between 953 and 954. How do I figure out which one I am? I'm leaning more towards 953. Okay. So the threes are going to have goals that they set. So your first, as an I, your first interactions are going to be agreeable. You're going to go with the flow. You are going to make sure and enjoy harmony and balance. You do get angry because you're an anger type, but it's after someone's taken advantage of those things. You're also someone who is an intellectual. As a 5, you may be into reading a lot, into philosophy, and into like kind of like getting the dirt on things and people. And 3s, then you would be having goals for those things in your life that come before. You'll be very focused on networking, and even though you're a 9, it'll be like, you know, you might like lie or you might lie to get your way. It happens. If you're a 4, you're going to be like, I go with the flow. I mind my own business as a 5. And I don't give a fuck what you think. I am my own person. So 3 is more about networking and being with people, and 4 is more like, fuck you, I'm an individualist. So yeah, investigators for sure. Winston's mom. 5s are investigators. Or am I clairsentient? Asked Sean O'Neill. I forget what clairsentient is. Could you remind me? I used to study this, but I totally forget what I was most of. I know 5. I'll do that whereby thing in a little bit too, Sean. I just want to answer some more questions, and then I'll bring you up in whereby. Does numerology have any affiliation with quantum physics? Nova 5 asks. That's a great question that I don't have an answer for. I wouldn't be surprised. Okay. Here. Rooms, autonomy. Okay, Sean, I am in whereby right now. Where is the stream? So, I mean, my logic is too positive to think not. You know, I think it is. I do, but it's like Eric is working on figure out compatibility between. Oh, Peter's here, everyone. Oh. No, you can't see him. Oh well. Trouble's outside too. Trouble. Okay. Well. There you go. Astrology and MBTI, ask Carmen Pimp. Well, not really. Numerology. I think that if we were to put numerology together with science. Have you guys thought about making a podcast that coincides with your YouTube channel? Giovanni, that's not a bad idea. We live stream so much that I don't know. You know, it could be something that we look into. We do talk a lot about a lot of different things, Eric and I, but right now we just do it with streaming. Astrology is a different language for understanding yourself, so there might be correlation, but not causation, maybe. Yes, I think that's true. I think there is correlation, but it's not causation. Enneagram 5. You hungry? I gotta feed the animals, you know. Autonomy, Sean. Am I in there? Yeah. Join. Sorry, I didn't join. I'm Te PoLR. Astrology. So I studied astrology when I was a kid, a little kid, because my grandma was very interested in it. And then I was like, this stuff is all crap. And then I checked out my birth chart and I learned a lot about myself and had to accept like certain things. But it's like, I don't know if it's coincidence. I really don't. If Kanye West and Kim Kardashian get a divorce, their synastry shows it. And when Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie broke up, their astrology showed it too. So my moon is Sagittarius, Karma's Pimp. What's yours? Life Syncrotic, Matt Lawrence. What is he doing nowadays? Ooh, Pisces, Karma Pimp. My moon, my Karma's Pimp, my Venus and Mars are in Pisces. I believe Winston's mom has a Mars Pisces too. Yours is in Libra, Nova? Life Syncrotic, you should find out what he's doing. Are you into him? You have a crush? You should be like, hey, Matt Lawrence, what you up to? What up, Mars Pisces crew? Are we not the most avoidant of all Marses? I feel like I am so avoidant of fights. And when I do get into fights with people, it's like really crazy. You don't know? You don't know Life Syncrotic? Okay, whatever. I'm going to just keep it as you having a Mars and Pisces. Yes, very dreamy. Pisces are very dreamy. I assume it's always Western unless stated otherwise. I do too, Karma's Pimp. I think that Vedic astrology is better for compatibility, but that's just my opinion. Wait, not the TWFP. I'm sorry. Oh, hey. Hold on, let me get I can't hear you. Oh. Okay, try now. Okay, try now.
Test.
Yeah, there you are. Good.
Okay, awesome.
Cool. How you doing?
I'm well.
That's good. What you doing this Sunday?
Just take a shower. Staying cool.
Yeah. Is it hot where you are?
In San Jose, yeah. It's pretty warm today, I would say.
San Jose is close to. How far away is it from Arcadia?
I think. I mean, I'm basically Bay Area, San Francisco.
Okay. So
yeah,
you're like
Silicon Valley, yeah.
Oh wow, when it's hot over there today.
I mean, compared to what it's been, yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of sweaty today.
It is. I'm sweating actually right now. It's warm outside. Yeah, I can't believe it. Yesterday, it was my birthday, and I was like, I can't believe that I have a birthday in January and it's like not snowing. Like, yeah. So it's a nice change of pace.
California weather, man.
Yeah. Let me see what they're saying in the Vedic is Eastern. Leaf Trimmer's first celebrity crush was Emma Watson. She's very naturally pretty, I believe, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's 75 here right now.
75?
Yeah.
Wow.
With like 24 humidity, so maybe real feels a few more than that.
Ooh. Humidity too. Are you guys supposed to get rain?
I don't know. I stay away from the news.
Do you?
Yeah.
Since I've moved to California, I've actually because I don't cared about the weather, I guess.
Right.
First, it's really interesting. So, born, raised New York, and first time ever coming to California was to visit Eric.
Mhm.
And I could not believe how dry. Like I couldn't believe it. I was like, everything they put in the movies is a fucking lie, because like it was so. I was like, I feel the drought. Like I was like, wow, they really did have a drought, and I'm glad that broke. Like last year with the rainfall, and there was like a big storm in LA not too long ago. But yeah, I'm glad it's starting to rain again.
Yeah, this place is nuts.
Yeah, it really is. It's so different too. Like all the different areas. California is such a big state.
Have you seen the wild zebras?
No.
There are zebras here because Orson Welles, like, you know, Citizen Kane, like he had this huge ranch with a ton of zebras. Now there's wild zebras in California.
Oh my gosh. These rich people who come in with exotic animals and just like let them, yeah. They say that that California is an ISFP state.
I remember coming here, and then this was the first time I'd ever seen a tumbleweed, and I was like, it was the size of a car, and I was like, those things are real? Like, what is that?
I know, right?
It was insane.
It is
I was
insane.
like, what is that?
And like Eric has this baby photo of him, and he's like he's not a baby photo. He's like probably like 5 or 6 in it, and he's like this, like a cowboy. I'm like, that is so SoCal. I love it. It's great. I really am enjoying living in Arcadia. Let's see. The idea with Vedic astrology is to move your degrees back about 22. So I am Aquarius moon in Western tropical, but Capricorn moon in Vedic, which makes me Danishta. That's cool. Do I see a shadow? Hi. I decided to live stream while you were napping.
Cool.
Yeah, Winston's mom. My Vedic astrology is, I'm still a Capricorn. My rising is in Virgo, and my moon is in Scorpio. So it is different. Are there any INFJ states? Well, Frank James did a video on where INFJs would best live, and I think he chose Vermont or New Hampshire, and I would agree with that. I would agree. Hello, KD. What's going on? So, Sean, how do you identify as an 8?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've talked about it a little bit before, but like, you know, like whereas like a 3 wasn't really recognized for their value, they only recognized for their achievement in childhood. 8s didn't get a childhood. So that's more like that. So and like the number one fear is just control. You don't want to be controlled, like because you're in a horrible situation and you just intuitively know it's wrong, and then you want to but you just take it on yourself. Like if you blame it on the parents and you blame it on the parents not protecting you or them like coming up short, you're a 6, right? Mm-hmm. But when you're just like, I've got to be stronger, I'm not gonna let anything get to me. Like, I mean, I was like 2 years old and ticklish, and I hated it. And my mom had 2 other older uncles, and I would just attack them and make them tickle me, and just want to get it out of my system, like completely. And I'm just not ticklish. Yeah. So
you took first strike.
Yeah, I just refused. I hated the idea that I was ticklish. I'm not ticklish anywhere, bottom of my feet, like anything. Wow. And like biologically or whatever, like if you get touched like a neck or like any soft spot like the belly, like on your foot, and then you anticipate a rough part, it's the submission. So you just do it instinctually. It's like I didn't know that at the time, you know what I mean? But I just felt like totally wrong to laugh or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, or just to be tickled, to be subject to that. Like, and then also like, you know, like little short hairs on your neck or whatever, or like your little skin like on your arm.
Yeah.
Mom, like grab that.
Oh yeah, I hate that.
Totally desensitized to that. Just like refuse.
Yeah, I don't play that game either. I really, I think my 8 shows most when I'm really stressed or if someone's putting me in a corner. I like can get really like fighty. That's when my fight comes out. When I put up the guns and I'm like, oh yeah, like bring it. Like,
I always took like 100% assertive and 0% turbulent. So like that's me and my 8s. And like people like what's alpha? What's this mean? Blah blah blah. Whatever. It's like, okay, you ever have an appointment with someone and then you think about it before you went there? You're like a little nervous. You're not the alpha, right? Like that's it's like meeting people never would cause me to be nervous about whatever. You know, it's like
that's totally 8.
And also you'll hear people like in groups. You can watch like the guys, and you know, maybe there's a few, but then guys will do it without even knowing it and start doing vocal fry, like whatever. That's a submission. Like that's what they're doing, and that's why it's so hot. Because if there's like the alpha bitch does vocal fry, that'll turn an 8 on or an alpha on, you know. But I still want an alpha. I want a straight alpha, but she does that vocal fry. It's a little extra sexy. Right? It's like a submitting thing. So I still want her to roll over all the other ones.
So I did some studying on Enneagram, and the way that it goes, it's in a triangle. It has 5 at the top. So they say I don't remember who it was exactly, but the person who was doing the study said that 5 is the like ultimate goal to be, because basically they keep to themselves, they do study within themselves, it's more of like a mastermind kind of thing. They're very cerebral. They're not people to take action. So they said
like if you mastered both 5 and 4, like because we all have all 9 spirits in us, right? Like I feel like I've mastered the 4 and the 5. That's why I can articulate anything from my mind to words. Like, you know, people often comment on that, like whatever it is. It's like, well, I can't say how I think or what. Like I've worked at that.
Yeah. I think that a good type for. So I messed with it a little bit because at one point I was like 7s are only really good with other 7s, because 7s can be like really selfish, and I think that 8s and 6s, because 6s are like they are known as romantics.
I think Ben Franklin as a 7. You know, I don't know if he's a 7, but just his nature and the way he wrote, like, you know, alcohol is evidence that like God wanted man to be happy, and just sort of how he was. Yeah. It's like French and all that.
Totally.
That's just kind of his life, I think.
I think you're right, probably in that typing. Let's see what the chat is saying. Guys, study cognitive. Hey, Running Fox, what's going on? Oh my gosh. Running Fox says, really? So not be bad being a 4, 5, 9. Okay, just reclusive. Yeah, so 4 is the artistic side. They're known as the artist, and the individualist. So you're going to be very wrapped up in.
Well, there's so many levels too, right?
Like 4, 5, 9s are the absolute worst.
They're the absolute worst. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm romantic, says Lily Trimmer. I guess in your own way. I don't know. They are though. They are known as romantics.
Like, I put the chart in there earlier, right? It's like there's like the introvert, the ambivert, and the extroverted kind of notion of the gut, head, or the gut, the heart, and head, right?
Yeah.
So like 872 is like the triple extrovert.
8, 7.
Yeah.
872. Yeah, that is.
Like for the tri-type.
Yeah. I think 4s, it's very hard to get them like riled up too, because they have like an air about them of a little bit of like superiority. So you're like, this is my art. I don't care what you say. like, oh, that's a problem? No, that's your problem. That's not my problem. And then the 5 will be like, I'm going to go read about this. And, oh, I heard that something is like happening in the world and it's like, it's making me afraid. I'm going to dive in and know as much as I can about it so that I know ahead of time. And then the 9 is going to be like, I'm all good with everything. I'm going to go with the flow until you tell me too much of what you want to do and don't let me have my individuality because I forgot about it. 9s tend to forget about individuality. They're all about, y'all, what are the best subjects for an INFJ to learn? Nova 5 asks. That's a good question.
I think everyone needs to self-realization.
Yes.
Get to know yourself, and then when you get to know yourself and how you work, and then come into typology, then you can know how other people work.
Yeah.
You know, you should have clairsentience. Like you should have, like that's your FE, like your ability to psychically understand people. Like I feel other people's FI. I know what they want. Like it's not an emotion to have FE. FE is control of emotion.
Yeah.
Like I have the TI claim of what's right, and then that is when I'm in somewhere, that's my domain. My FE is like, this is how it's going to go down in here. This is like just to control this area, like make it this way. I'm not concerned if people are upset. I'm upset. I'm concerned if they can't smile and get along, you know? Yes. It's like an INFP. It's like anyone's upset, they're gonna be like, oh, what upset you? I need to know.
Right.
Because, you know, it might upset me or whatever. Like they eventually learn to be quite, you know, compassionate because of that feedback loop. But like say you're both 6 years old, right? If somebody in my class is hurt, but they're not being picked on, they're not being ostracized, and they're kind of dealing with it, I'm like, it's all good, it's fine. But INFP is going to go and like, no, I need to know what's wrong with them because it could happen to me. But through that, and years go by, they develop compassion because they know people really do go through things. Right?
You know, they're great at giving advice. They just don't take their own advice. I remember I had an INFP friend, and I was at this party and dating this dude, and he was like definitely flirting and like kind of like ghosted me at the party. And I called my INFP friend and she was like, that's not normal. Like in relationships, like you should want to be with your partner, like no matter like who's around. But like she was in a relationship for a year where she like didn't know if she wanted to be with the person. So it was like she could give really great, you're right, they become very compassionate.
But FE's like really good with the empathy, but like because I can literally feel what people feel, but I don't come in the room and I assign value based on the individuals. Like I don't see the individual's value. I don't see that person's value, that person's value. I see the value of community, and I want the community to go a certain way. And that's I'm just true to that, right? Like people are just parts that are interchangeable. If you're gonna be here, you're gonna be here in this way, and no one's going to bully people. No one's going to do this, that, whatever. I'm more about like FE is about behavior. FI is the one that's like really values people as individuals, right? So it's like really like a one-on-one thing. It's like, no, this person is important, and you know we're all important, and that kind of thing. I'm just like, this is the way we have to behave because that's what FE is. Like this kind of.
It is. It's more group than it is the individual. I think FE. KD says INFJs have super poor FI. It is true. We're demonstrative of it. We can like I think there's not like a fair amount of NFJs in Hollywood, and it's because they're like not good with like emotions really, so they can act it.
Question. So like in touch with my feelings or not have any. So it's kind of a journey, right? I was just Iceman, like keep everything down. Like to me, FI was selfish. FI was the flesh, like as a Christian thing. Like and I'm even more weird. Like there's Protestants, Catholics, whatever, but there's Protestant evangelists, and then like I'm a very small subset called holiest. So we actually believe that you have to become holy in this life, get baptized in the Holy Spirit, that kind of thing, and become holy. So for that, that's like totally your body's a temple and a vessel for God and like that. It's really deny FI, like really deny like your desires, this sort of stuff. But especially early on, young, like you don't know when your emotions are yours. You'll see, oh, this cartoon's about to come on, but the last time you watched it, you were with other kids and they loved it and they FI loved it and you felt all those emotions, and then you watch it and you don't feel anything, and you're like, what happened? You know. So it's not really clear whose emotions are whose until you mature and can get to that point. But then you get to the point where you can, like, you can sort of jam the room, like control that. Like, this guy Scott works in DC, is a fundraiser for the Democratic Party. And like I was talking about, he's like, oh yeah, that's my superpower. So like he does the same with me. Like we could jam guilt, shame, fear, like so no one feels that. So just like no one feels awkward. So like we have like an aisle around us, like an AISLE aisle, like that. And it's like anyone in there, no one's permitted to feel bad. It's like I just damp that emotion. It's not happening, right? So
yeah. So where's FI for you as an ENFJ?
Oh, it's fifth. Yeah. Like, I eventually let my FI out, but I was 19, and like I did a huge, like I had a big epiphany. I wrote this huge Zongo blog about it. And, like I independently came up with the platinum rule, which I'd never heard of until I came to this stream. I'm like, yeah, that's what I've been doing. Actually, it was some guy named like Miller Bennett in the late 70s or something. Like originally came up with the idea, but I independently came up with it the day that I decided to value my FI and that it wasn't terrible, because I met someone with good FI that was a good person and actually had zest for life. And I wanted that. And it was sort of like my eight. It was like, I'm not gonna be afraid to have zest for life. You know, it's sort of like a courage-based virtue. So, but when I've accepted my FI, then that, oh wow. So then that just instantly gave me like, the way I've been treating people is definitely not the right way. Because I was treating people the way I specifically want to be treated. And then, you know, of course, platinum rule, no, I want to treat people the way that they really would like to be treated. I endeavor to do that. So.
Yeah, that is growing up. That's definitely like taking into consideration like other people, and that has to be learned with someone who has it on their back stack, because it's so unconscious. It's not conscious. Like, yeah, I mean, I have really bad FI. I'm awkward with it, you know, like it's very.
Well, it's a real paradox there, because like the more you like FI is so wonderful when you're in a safe, good place. It's like FI is one of the only functions that can feed off of itself. Mm-hmm. You're like, I FI love this, and I FI love me loving this, and blah, 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 and just boom, and I mean being FI Dom, I can just pump that emotion to 1,000, and you know, so that's great. But if you're that way, if you're so, for you, it's like it's my party, I'll cry if I want to. If anything disturbs that at that point,
yeah.
You know, it's like.
Yeah, it is. It's, yeah,
right.
Everyone. No one is. Everyone's a victim, really, to it. There's no holding back at all. I want to answer what Leaf Trimmer was asking when. What were you asking? Yeah, box your shot. FI is confusing for INFJs because it's demonstrative. So it's like I learned FI through my grandma La Pelosa. She used to give me like lots of hugs and kisses and like tell me she loved me all the time, and I was her number one granddaughter, which like now I look back and I'm like, oh my God, like hello, you had another granddaughter too. But see, it's FI. It's like the precious thing. Okay.
Well, as critical parent, it's really good in some regard, because like whereas an ENFJ, number one need is connection, right? Like the INFJ wants a true value in an individual and wants the right person that is the right kind of loyal, that that's worth investing in. Yeah. And then that's what they do. They invest in particular individuals and make like the wolf pack thing. You know, it's, for me, it's like wherever I go, I'll make my wolf pack for the day. Like that's whatever. And it's not even like my wolf pack. I don't feel attached to that anyway. You know, it's like I'm just gonna make everybody kind of merry and get along, and that's whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
That's good though that you have that. I mean, I have more questions for you, but I want to answer Leaf Trimmer. He says, I don't understand why people choose wings. Why not just pick their one highest result? I think some people use wings to get to their tri-type, but you don't need the wing to get there. Eric has a really good questioning system for finding out tri-types. So if you're interested in your tri-type leaf trimmer, I would definitely ask Eric again, and he could probably help you out. But I'd say for people who are new at Enneagram, I would just stick to the number one result that you get. And if it really fits with you, then take the advice, because what happened? Eric says he thinks wings are bullshit. So don't worry about it, leaf trimmer. If you're a 6, just stick with 6. You're welcome. Oh, hey, Alan Brian, what's going on? Hope you guys are liking this. I'm glad that I'm able to talk to everyone. So,
I mean, essentially the wings are just to say that there's sort of a yielding and unyielding version of each type kind of thing. You know, with this, like the 8 wing 9 is more acquiescent, you know, really actually cares what people think about them. And 8 wing 7 is like, no, it's going to go down the way I want it. That's it.
KD says wings are confusing. And KD, actually, the person who's speaking right now is Sean O'Neill from the chat. We don't need wings. You don't need them. You don't. If you know your first Enneagram type, that's really the core of like how you yeah.
Well,
like
it's the word. It's your biggest fear. It's like this whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
7s are like, fucking chicken shit.
And each type has its own thing. Like if you're like in stress, like an 8 disintegrates to some of the average negative stuff of 5. They'll do that. Like you're just like, oh, people are idiots. It's like this angry thing like that. But at our best, well, like the good aspect of a 2, you know, like can be helpful and that sort of thing.
Yeah. See. Greetings Wisdom says we don't need wings, but they're delicious. Yes, they are. Once you get your Enneagram type, you should be able to figure out what you are: self-preservation, social prestige, or sexual prowess, says Alan Bryan. Where are you, Alan Bryan? What do you consider yourself? It's not hard to figure out. That part is not hard to figure out. I'm definitely SX. Like, I like being in a partnership. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a running joke in my family about how many boyfriends I brought to Christmas, because it's like,
it's an intensity thing too. Like,
yeah, yo, I can even admit that, like, I have had problems, like, in dating world. Like, you know, I didn't do it for very long, but like with being so intense about like being with a person, like I couldn't help myself. It is real, like I feel like SX really gets to the point of, I want to be with you, let's do this, like.
Or just like starting off when you first meet, you're just like deeper than a sandbox conversation, because I don't play this other stuff.
Yeah, I don't want the
fluff. I'll cut someone off. It's like been like 5 minutes and they're talking. I'm like, you haven't told me anything about yourself. It's all wealth, power, prestige metrics. Like, what is that? I know more about Olaf than you. He likes warm hugs. What do you value? Like, who are you? You know?
Yeah. A lot of people don't even, they don't even know how to answer that question. It depends, if they're social, they're going to be like, who cares? Like, who cares about that? But
it's social way less intense, but still cares. Like,
they do.
And then, like, if everybody else there was going the intense way, then they'll do it.
And self-preservation is the most like reclusive. They definitely, SF is one-on-one. We're gonna get deep with ya. We're gonna get deep.
Using FI.
What?
Really interesting.
All right, guys, gotta wrap this up. It was good talking to you. Hope you have a good evening. Later.